What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Sinister Bunny Studios, your go-to channel for heavy metal content. And today, we're going to be looking at the new Fortin Cali suite from the folks over at Neural DSP. Alrighty, so this is the latest plugin that Neural DSP has produced. It literally just came out like a day or two ago, and I got my trial of it to test it out and see how it sounds. My setups for recording this is a little bit weird and changed a little bit, so hopefully everything works out perfectly. If not, if my voice sounds off or something like that, I apologize. But I want to make sure the guitar sounds good. But, I mean, beyond that, let's kind of just jump into the actual plugin. So, you should see the plugin right in front of you right now. I've got a session in Cubase opened up with just a single audio track for my guitar. And I have the Fortin Cali suite, as you can see on the left in my inserts. And this is what it looks like. So as a visual overlook, it looks like it's the same amp, but it's got 3 different channels, and I'm assuming it's the usual clean channel, crunch channel, and then like lead, rhythm, overdrive channel, which is cool. So you have 3 different channels, but it's set up differently. Normally on the bottom, this would be like 3 different amps, and other plugins like the Archetype Nolly. However, this is different channels, so that's a different way to do it. Over here in the effects pedals, you have noise gate, the Zool Fortin noise gate, the hex drive by Fortin. It's an overdrive pedal, and then a grind, which is like another overdrive pedal, which typically, I think, from what I've seen, you would use for extended range guitars, so like 7, 8, and 9 string guitars and stuff like that. It just helps to kind of tame that low end a little bit more. And then on the ass end of it all, you have the cabinet section with you know, your usual microphones and your IR loader and stuff like that. And you can move the microphones and adjust the sound as if you were miking up a real cab, just like any other Neural DSP plugin. So it's no different, but there is no effects loop stomp boxes like in the Neural DSP Archetype Nolly and some of the other plugin suites that have reverb and delay and stuff in the effects loop of the amp. This one's a very dry amp suite, but it sounds pretty good as far as I can tell. And as usual, you have the input, gate, the stereo and mono switch, high and normal oversampling. You have the presets selector and the output level, and that's pretty much it. Enough talking, let's get into the actual sound. This is just the default sound right off the bat. When you open it up, this is what's set up. I'm tuned in E standard on a 6 string, and let's just kind of see how it sounds. So right off the bat, it's already really chunky, and you can hear that noise gate kicking in because there's almost no sound. Any little bit of sound is just very minimal. So that gate works pretty well. And I don't think it's the actual gate here with the dial at -80. I believe that's the Zool gate. And, yeah. So it's got a very chunky, kick-ass sound as a default right off the bat. And that's probably with everything. No, actually, normally default seems like everything would be at noon. Oh, it kind of is, in a way. They're all leveled off at the same point, for the most part, which is cool. But, you know, normally the default stuff seems to be set at noon. However, it seems different. But let's kind of look at the amp, actually. I kind of forgot to go through that. You have a power and standby switch to turn it on and off. You have a master knob, you have a thump knob, switch, you have a presence knob, a hair switch, you have a bass knob, obviously, a middle and treble as your normal guitar amp EQ. You have a violence switch, and you have 2 gain knobs and a bright switch. Now I'm going to kind of go through and see what each of these kind of do. So I'm going to look over here. Let's get kind of the sound and see what the thump does. So that's what it sounds like now. If we put thump in the middle, seems like it's giving it a little more bottom end. Let's take it all the way to the right. I think the thump switch here is giving it a little more resonance, or like low cabinet woof woof. I mean, if you want to play by yourself and like every guitar player have a thick, heavy sound, that's the way to do it. To record, I wouldn't put that much low end in. You need room for the bass and the kick. But however, if you're practicing with this or just kind of playing around, it's really fun to have. The presence knob is very obvious. That kind of affects how in your face the sound can get. So with it at about 4, that's kind of what it sounds like. And if you bring it up to like 8, it just kind of brings it more like in your face. So you got to be careful with that too, because that can introduce a lot of high-end frequencies that are kind of will singe your hair off or cut your head off. You don't always want that. So use the presence knob and the treble knob wisely together. I'm assuming this hair switch is going to kind of affect more the presence as well, kind of the high end. Let's bring it over to the left. Sounds like it took away a lot of the high end, back to the middle. Adds a little more up in the air there, and all the way to the right. Whoa. Maybe it took it all the way out, all the way to the right. Seems like it's really wumpy with no high end there. Really like scooped almost. Yeah, so it's adding a little bit of that high end, so you can hear it here, right? And then you bring it all the way to the right. All that high end is kind of gone. So I'm going to bring it back to the middle where it was to begin with. And so your bass knob, your middle, and your treble, you guys obviously know what those do. I don't need to go through that, but let's check this violence switch. So this is what it sounds like with it all the way to the left. Let's bring it in the... Oh, all the way to the right. There's no middle. Sounds like maybe it tightens things up. Sounds like it tightens things up a little bit, honestly. See, this is more saturated and saggy and whoa, 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 whoa. Right? But then you bring the violence knob over, or the violence switch. It kind of makes it sound a little thinner, like it's taking out some of the low end and kind of tighten things up a little bit. Seems like, yeah, it really kind of tightens things up. It's getting a little rid of a lot of that wumpy low end. I don't know, maybe for recording that would be nice, but if I'm just playing around, I want that to the left, so I can have my thick, heavy sound. And let's do this bright switch. So the bright switch is to the left. Let's kind of bring it to the right. I think it's adding that high. So it's adding a little bit of up at the top there, so it's a little more. It doesn't sound half bad with the bright, but I would honestly have it off with the sound that's on there right now. It's chunky, I gotta say, and that's just the default setting. Let's see. Now let's mess with the gain a little bit. We got two gain knobs, and honestly, I'm not sure what they both do. I'm assuming one controls the low and one controls the high frequency for gain. So let's turn the 2 all the way off. Not all the way off. Yeah. Okay, so gain 2, or actually it's backwards. Gain 1 on the right-hand side, that controls the higher frequencies of gain. Instead of just creating gain across the frequency spectrum as a whole, it's affecting just the higher frequencies. And then, I don't remember where this was, but then if you turn that one down and only listen to gain 2 on the left, you can hear that's introducing just the gain on the lower side, I believe. Turn that down. Turn this up. Yeah, I think one's a low end and one's a high end gain, so you can adjust those wherever you want. It sounds thick and chunky, I gotta say, and that's just the default setting. You do have 2 other channels, like I said, so you have a clean channel as well, right? So it's got kind of a little bit of breakup to it, honestly. So it's not completely clean as far as I can tell. It's probably because the gain is set where it is. If I turn this down, let's see, is there another switch? Let's turn the gain up just a little. It's probably maybe it's got an overdrive on it. That's why. Okay, we turned off the overdrive so it's not so broken up. So to me, it's got a very glassy, clean sound, which is what I like. I really like that. I really like that glassy kind of sound. That's the kind of clean sound that I would go for. I do like that glassiness, but that's kind of what the clean sounds like. And let's kind of get more to the crunch channel. Yeah, this is more of a crunch channel. So it's just your, kind of a crunch channel. If you want some kind of crunchy tone, or you're more of a blues guy, you're not really super metal. it's got more of that bluesy, crunchy kind of sound to it. So that sounds cool. I'm fine with that. It can be useful in certain situations. Not if you're playing straight up metal, I guess, but you could add it in there somewhere if you really needed to. All the same settings for all 3 channels that you can mess with: thump, hair, violence, brightness, all that fun stuff. It's all the same. But what I'm really looking for in this plugin is the actual rhythm lead channel for that metal thickness. Which, I gotta say, in terms of the thumpy, chunky, aggressive low end for just straight fucking metal, this is probably my favorite plugin so far. Like, I have the Archetype Nolly, and I love it. It's very versatile. You can do a lot of different things with it, but this just has that thrash metal, chunky riffage, just fucking rampage metal sound that I grew up listening to because I grew up playing thrash metal a lot before I got into the more progressive stuff. And this, to me, is just exactly what I would want if I was in a thrash metal band. And that's literally just the default setting. And I don't want to go too long here before my camera dies or overheats. But I guess we could take a look at some of the presets and see how those sound. Because this has only been the default setting. Just so I can give you a more flatline taste of what all the settings can do. But as you can see, you have the default preset. You also have artist presets that people have made. And you can go to all of those. You got Nolly stuff, Ola England, if you don't know Ola, and a bunch of other people. And you've got the factory stuff from Fortin, Lynch's Nipple, you know, stuff like that, and Neural DSP presets. So you got a lot of presets to work from if you don't know really how to dial in your own tone. Honestly, I'm curious because I'm going to look at the Ola England stuff. Blazing Saddles, Rhythm, Hairy Nipples, Money Shot, Push Out That Baby, Show Me the Way Lead, and Wash Your Ass Clean. I'm going to do Push Out That Baby. Woo! It's got a little hump to it. That's okay. That's okay, Ola. Okay, Ola, it's a little too noisy for me. I'd turn up that gate a little bit more, but let's get Money Shot. What's that? Push Out That Baby we already did. Show Me the Way Lead. It's a very, like I said, thrash metal sound. There's not, it's so dry because there's no delay or reverb or anything, so it makes it, it's a very dry sound, so there's no delay, no reverb or anything like that for the lead, so you're kind of naked, but, it works. I would just throw on some delay, that's all. Screw me for trying to record a video first thing in the morning, right? It's really whiny. I'd have to throw on the gate a little bit more with that. But I guess we could take a look at like a couple more. Let's look at Mirage 81 Rhythm. Let's see what that sounds like, just for the hell of I like that. That's chunky. Mirage or Mirage 81 Rhythm. I like it. But the only other thing I guess I could showcase a little bit is moving the mics. So, you know, you have a handful of microphones to pick from and that you can turn on and off. You can have two at once or one. And you got a different mics, and you can load your own custom IRs and stuff like that. So that's really fun, and that's really great. This seems like a really kick-ass plugin. And although I only have the trial of this, it is on sale, last that I saw. So I may or may not be picking this up and doing some work with it, in addition to the Archetype Nally that I already have. Because this is just a really thrashy, punch you in the face, you know, kick you to the curb type of metal tone that I've been wanting for a long time. And it's very just boom. So it's on sale. I'm a returning user, so I get a discount. So I'm most likely going to get this. But I want to know if you guys want to see this in more videos and stuff like that. I can, if I get this, do like a Will It Metal series episode on this Fortin Cali suite. There's a lot of potential for it, and I may just do it anyway before my trial ends, or if I buy it. But if you guys want to see that, definitely let me know. This is a really kick-ass plugin. Neural DSP is hitting it out of the park once again, and I don't see them putting out anything bad in the near future. So if you want to check it out, I will provide a link down in the description to Neural DSP and this plugin, so you can get a 14-day free trial and or buy it. And check it out for yourself. Let me know what you thought about it. Is it an amp that you would use? It's definitely an amp I would use. But beyond that, if you have any more questions about this amp, or you would like me to do a different kind of video with it, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. But until next time, thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I had a complete brain malfunction there for a second. Also, click that bell for me, why don't you? I've been noticing a lot of people don't have notifications turned on. You want to turn those on? Thank you. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank you guys for watching. This is a long demo introduction video, but hey, I do what I want. Stay metal, my friends, and check this out.